Another interesting fact. Donald Trump is supposedly the best golfer out of all the presidents.
What?
Yep. He's the best. I'm pretty sure he's the best golfer, at least during his presidency. He has the lowest handicap.
Listen up, maggots. This is the Grouch coming at you loud and clear with another edition of the Weekend Warriors podcast. This is the place for real, no bullshit talk on the harsh realities and irreverent humor around military life. So sit the fuck down, strap in, and get ready for a raw, no-holds-barred discussion. This is the Weekend Warriors. So here we are with another episode of the Weekend Warriors. It's good to be back after the holiday break, and we've got some first-time guests tonight. So let's go around and introduce everybody. So to my right, we got Berto.
Hello, I'm Mr. Berto, Tuxedo. How's it going? Go ahead.
There we go. We got the technical ham, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on? Call right now is KO5HZ, but it should be changing tomorrow. If I get it, it's WA4DND. Do not disturb.
Oh, fingers crossed for you.
Nice.
And we got Radio Rustler first time, Chris.
What's going on, guys?
Good to have you here. And last but never least, Cody, working late nights.
What's up, everyone? This is the first time of being on the internet in 2025, and I'm ready, I think. Go with it.
Yeah.
New year, same me. Let's roll.
So, welcome to the new year. Usually, I ask you guys, how your day was, but in addition to how was your day, I want to know what was the highlight of your holidays. So it could be a cool moment, it could be a gift, whatever. You just let me know. We'll start with Chris.
Oof. Cool moment or gift? I don't know, man. I worked most of the holidays being retail management. I worked Christmas Eve. I worked the day after Christmas. I basically had 36 hours off, and that was about it. So we barely even did the tree or decorations this year.
So your highlight's your paycheck?
Yeah. A lot of overtime, man. A lot of overtime during the holidays. But now that the holidays are over, it's all gone. It's you work your 40 hours and you're out of the store, or, we're kicking you out.
All right. And how was your day?
Yeah, actually today was pretty easy, man. Went to work, came home, hung out, played with the cat. My daughter works from home now. She's got a job at Microsoft, so she basically wakes up, sits at her desk, works all day, and then goes and does stuff around the house. I was like,
nice.
Works for me. The problem is now I have to be quiet when I get home because she's working. So I can't be on the radio. I can't do all this stuff because her office is right next to my bedroom.
So it's her house.
Yeah, you're 5'9", 5'9".
Yeah, basically it's her house.
My roommate.
Well, she's a grown adult, so it's basically like a roommate at this point. I can't complain.
Right.
She's got a good job. She pays her bills, so.
Well, I'm glad your day was good, and you at least got a big paycheck out of the holidays.
Yeah, it was decent. It was decent. I mean, it always could be better, but I'm not complaining. I could be in LA right now while crap burned down.
That would suck. What about you, Cody? What was the highlight of your holidays?
Oh man, I went home on leave, so it was lovely. I mean, being back has his advantages because we have multiple Christmases. Everyone has to go to other people's houses and all that stuff. So that's kind of a lot of fun. And I spent the second half of my leave at some friends in Nevada, and northern Nevada is all frozen over lakes. So I did lots of ice fishing, and it was awesome. Yeah, lots of perch, just pulling out fish sticks, man. So it was great.
And how was your day?
Oh, my day was awesome. I slept in. I'm not going to tell you all how long I did, but you probably can guess. And I did.
You just woke up.
I did nothing. None of what I was supposed to do today, except for you guys. And now I'm here.
Let's do some quick math. Paul, how late did you guys stay up last night chatting and drinking?
I actually I checked myself out at about 12:30.
12:30 your time.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh man. So Cody had plenty of time left. He probably stayed up drinking for another, oh geez, 4 to 8 hours with Sid on the back porch. So
Yeah, no, it was. I called it quits at like 2. So
Not too bad.
okay, all right. I fucking woke up at like 11:30. All right. So, there you go. There you go, Sherlock.
All right, Anthony. What was the highlight of your holidays?
Not, I guess I'm talking to my family on the phone. They're back home since I'm getting ready to move and just got back from deployment and they went back home beforehand. And so did the typical, they're doing family photos and I'm just there like on FaceTime. They're holding the phone up to the camera. So, got that going. But just enjoyed like being able to somewhat hang out with them for the holidays.
All right. And how was your day?
It was good. Kind of did the same thing as Cody. Me and him ended up being on there after you guys got off, and we were just playing with Navarro stuff. So went to bed around. Actually, he got off saying he was going to bed. Assuming he went, I was up later, and then I finally went to bed, and I realized the time was like, oh, it's like 4 a.m. I should probably go to sleep. I still got up around like 11 or 12. So.
Yeah. So you're saying you got maybe a little less sleep than Cody did because you stayed up later.
100%, but that's like a normal for me because I just can't sleep for shit anyways.
Yeah, I feel you that one. Robert, what was the highlight of your holidays?
Highlight of my holidays. So I have 2, right? So number 1 was so we just had some big expenses in the family. A large car repair and a full furnace replacement for the house that I own, the rental now, which came out to about like $8,000 in payments. And but it was like the joint fund between my girlfriend and I, so like we put into it every single month and try and build up this safety net. So luckily it was there, and we didn't have to worry about it. But her parents gave us a Christmas gift in the sum of $2,500, which helps offset some of that, some of those payments and stuff, or at least gives us that jump start. Because I already paid for it. Nothing's on credit. I was able to pay cash for it all, but it really brought down the funds. So a nice little $2,500 check to be able to put back in there to start build you back up is pretty nice. So meanwhile, my parents, my mom got me a pair of socks, but it's cool. It's all about like what it means, not really about the gift.
Well, what kind of socks? Because I also got socks that I absolutely love.
They're good enough. I think they're like golf socks or something. But the second thing, so the first
some
time,
knee-high socks.
Yeah, real slutty ones. The second thing, for the first time in my career, due to weather, I was not able to get back from leave for many days. So Kansas got hit with the storm of the decade, or whatever you want to call it. Shut down all of northeast Kansas, to include Fort Riley and the airport right by it. I had to reschedule my flight. I must have gotten in early because I only had a 2-day delay, while some people had a 4-day delay because it's a small airport and there's only 4 flights a day into it. But I got back on Wednesday, so for I had like 2 extra days. I was gonna leave Sunday, so I guess I had all of Sunday, Monday, and then I left Tuesday afternoon. But I got 2 extra days of leave, and not my fault, which was nice. So, the girlfriend and I, we were able to spend that weekend, that Saturday night, staying up. We just like drank like 3 bottles of wine and played card games.
Played with a Ouija board.
And played with a Ouija board. Did some fucking human sacrifice. Yeah. Fuck no. Oh my God. She told me some story the other day that she was like, well, I'm really desperate for you to get back. I was looking into some like witchcraft shit, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, you don't bring that shit into our life, okay?
I was bored and I missed you, so I got this witchcraft stuff.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I'll do anything for that girl.
She's got a voodoo doll of you.
If we have to bury some crimes, I won't. For legal purposes, it's gonna be on the internet. It's kind of a joke, but like, I got her back. I'm by her side. She brings motherfucking demons into our life. Fuck no, I'm out.
You're on your own.
Yeah, I was like, you're done. I told her that too, and she's like, Robert, and I was like, hey, listen, you did it. I can't stop that. I can't fucking stop a demon. But yeah, so real good leave. I did. Obviously, she saved a lot of manual labor for me, so I got to have the pleasure of doing all that when I got home. Yeah, it was good time.
Free PT.
Hey man, I only gained like 3 pounds while I was home, which at the rate of eating and drinking that I did, I'm pretty surprised.
Didn't even call me. He was around the area and didn't even call.
Oh man, yep. I was out in Saratoga, and I was there for 2 days, I think. Yep. Had to go. Mike and Sarah got a new house out there. I'm sorry I didn't prioritize you, the guy who were just like, wait, we've never seen this guy's face.
Oh, that's good. I just saw Dwayne the other day, actually.
Well, it's funny though, is he freaking sends me a picture saying he's going to the Manchester, New Hampshire airport. And I'm like, dude. No, he wasn't. Got me all excited for nothing.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you had an awesome holiday. And how was your day today?
So I must be the weird one here. I woke up at like 6:37, something like that.
4 o'clock.
I just I also had the day off. It was just a nice, beautiful morning, and I accidentally left my weekday alarm on. So as soon as I woke up, I'm like, well, I'm fucking up. And it was cold in the RV because it was like 10 degrees outside. And I watched the whole Jimmy Carter funeral proceedings, or I don't think you call it that. But at the National Church thing, watched the whole thing this morning. Yeah, so I did absolutely nothing. I think the only reason I left, I went out the front door was because I said, hey, I haven't seen daylight in a while. I should probably go outside to do something. And shoveled out my antenna. So I was able to get on the air a little bit today. So real relaxing day, man. Just did some cooking, cleaning, being a good getting reset for my life, and that's it, man.
Nice.
Yeah. So, Paul, we always have to ask because you won't bring it up. Highlight of your holidays.
All right. Well, so I guess I did a lot of YouTube, which is great. Bolstered the channel up quite a bit. Got monetized now. So like that's great. Spent a lot of time with family. It's nice. I don't have to go anywhere because my in-laws live across the street. So sometimes it has its perks. But yeah, no, overall it was great. I got a lot of really good, thoughtful gifts for Christmas. Things that I wanted, things that I needed, like some darn tough socks from Vermont.
Those are good, yeah.
Yeah, and my day was good because I got up like, I don't know, 7:30, and I had an 11 a.m. appointment to get some new tires put on my truck. So just stuck with the same tires that I had, and so I went and put the new tires on the truck and got an oil change. They were supposed to do an alignment, but they told me that the nut was frozen solid and they couldn't get it free. I was like, "You guys don't have a fucking torch or something?" Like, so they refunded me for the alignment that they couldn't perform. Town Fair Tire, for the record. I don't know what anybody's thoughts are on that place, but
I have a question though.
okay.
So I'm told this. I imagine some of you guys are like this too, because when you shop for things, I imagine you're very particular. You do a lot of research, and you really know what you want. So my girlfriend tells me that I'm impossible to shop for. So are you like that when it comes to getting gifts?
Yeah.
And you have to lay out like specifically, like, I want this and this brand and this whatever, and because
otherwise you're not going to get what you want.
My wife says I plan too much and I need to just go with the flow.
Yeah. My problem is everybody wants to buy me stuff, buys me stuff I either don't want, don't need, or don't care about. And the stuff that they do want to buy me that I want, need, or care about, I usually already buy.
Yeah, that's exactly my problem. I'm like,
Yeah.
I just get what I want.
You already buy everything you want. What do you want? My daughter does it all year, every year for my birthday and for Christmas. She's like, "What do you want?" "Oh, this, and this." She's like, "You already have it." I'm like, "Yeah, but I could use another one." "Yeah, but what do you want that you don't have?" I'm like, "I don't want anything. I don't know."
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. Figure something
Good
out.
bottle of booze.
Yeah.
Maybe they should just rephrase their question to like, "Hey, what would you buy yourself right now?"
And you know what? I did that. I looked through my Amazon cart, my AliExpress, my eBay, and I was like, really, the only things I want right now are outside of my price point. Like, I want a new set of clubs, and I need a new computer for in here, because this one I can only run this streaming thing right now, as you guys know, or else everything will cut out. So I need something a little bit newer than the 7th gen chip that I have in here. But I'm like,
how old's your computer?
I don't know. It's a 7th gen i7, so I want something at least 10th, 11th. I think they're up to 14 now. So, I mean, a 12th gen i3 is gonna probably beat this 7th gen i7. But I'm like, you don't have $1,000 to drop on that, or even $500. So what I did was for my birthday, I said, listen, I just want to have a night where my girlfriend and I and her daughter, we cook a meal together. So that was, luckily it came to my noggin. But I was like, I just want time. Honestly, I just want to be left to fuck alone and sit down and enjoy, getting old. But yeah, okay, I'm not the only one who's impossible, so.
No, I told my daughter, I was like, "Listen, I don't need you to buy me anything anymore. I mean, I'm over 50 now. Pretty much everything I want, I have, or I can buy myself. I was like, if you want to do anything, let's go take a trip. Let's go do a day trip somewhere. Let's hang out, eat dinner, watch a movie, something like that. Stuff, because 20, 30 years, I'll be lucky if I remember half this crap anyway in 30 years.
Yeah.
As I'm drooling with wearing a diaper, so who knows?
You already are.
You're not supposed to tell.
Well, all right. So now we kind of touched on current events a little bit with what's going on today, and I got to say, and you can agree or disagree, but I think Jimmy Carter no longer holds the record for the worst president. I think Joe Biden has topped him.
By a long shot. There's no competition there.
So see, at least he didn't die the worst president ever.
Yeah, Carter, when he was president, was some of his policies were okay, but a lot of it was bad for the country. You know, gas shortages and everything else. That's why Reagan basically like killed him in the election. You know, but like he did not destroy the country the way Biden did. He did not. Biden absolutely destroyed this country over the last 4 years. You know, and I don't know if Trump's going to fix it or be able to fix it, but you can't get any lower at this point.
Yeah, I don't think that giving the Panama Canal away tops the last 3 years. Like, I don't think it does.
No.
So I'm looking. There's actually a Wikipedia page for historical rankings of presidents.
Of course there is.
Yeah, they actually have James Buchanan as one of the worst, but I don't think we could really pin anything on that. But it looks like if we talk from FDR forward, Jimmy Carter and Gerald Ford. No, Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon are close for being on the lower side. A lot of people hate Donald Trump. A lot of people hate Donald Trump.
Oh, I hear about all the hate about them all the time.
But see, this is surveys. You know, this isn't. I don't
like
think there's
an official whatever.
Yeah, I asked 100 Democrats. They said, you know.
So here's my thing on it, and this is how I look at it with like all political seats. I guess I'll say. I really don't care left or right, whatever you are. If your viewpoints match what I want and like it, not want, but like what I deem is like the best fitting for something, like you're not doing some crazy off the wall stuff, I'll be okay. I'll be okay with you. I'll be good with it. But if you start doing some crazy stuff, nah, get out. Like, because like all of them, they got some good, they got some bad. Even Trump, I like him. He's done a lot of good stuff, but there's some stuff I was like, all right, dude, calm down.
He is the greatest troll of the globe.
Oh, 100%. He's the only president that controls his own social media.
I think he might be the worst political figure or public figure that we could have in many aspects.
China.
Yeah.
Okay. It's all about China.
China now. China. You know,
I saw an interview about this, and it definitely made sense. Like during his first term as president, and he was talking about like building the whole wall with Mexico and all that stuff. I like, sure, whatever. But they had an interview with someone from Mexico, was like, he can do that. You know how most of us get over here? By plane. Like the wall's not going to matter. They're getting on a plane and flying right over.
Yeah, especially now.
Yeah, so unless they're going to put up like 100,000 foot wall, like
it's just I think it's kind of funny too how much he won by this year to really show that like people did not want Trump at the end of his presidency. They're like, we've had enough of it. Like they didn't like the things. They didn't like him as a person. And then Biden won. But then come this time, they're like, all right, we fucked up. A lot of us fucked up. We realized that. We want to go back to the other guy. You know?
His problem was he kept running his mouth on Twitter too much.
Yeah, they're like, and it's weird that that a lot of people, even by popular vote, decided like, listen, we'd rather have a guy who acts like a buffoon sometimes, but
There
like
wasn't even
has us in the best interest when it comes to a lot of policy.
there wasn't even really a competition near the end for him anyways, because like you could tell during the election time, like way in advance, oh, he's got this. He already won. But like Biden dropped out because I guess like he realized his age or whatever.
Well,
And then
he was forced out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody realized he was not.
yeah. You know what I mean. But like, and then Harris comes in. One, she came in like a month or two beforehand. That's not even enough time to run a whole campaign. Like you're not gonna win just because of the time frame. And two, I don't want someone who thinks that there's an actual cloud for storage above us.
So you're now no longer are you necessarily keeping those private files in some file cabinet that's locked in the basement of the house. It's on your laptop, and it's then therefore up here in this cloud that exists above us, right?
You can't. I don't think you can use that. She didn't have enough time to campaign, because who the fuck is she campaigning to? Who doesn't know about the first black female vice president?
Fair.
You know what I mean?
That was the same thing
Well,
with Obama.
is she black or Asian?
Or whatever she is, Indian or I don't fucking know.
Indian. I think there's some Indian in there somewhere.
Sorry, I might have classified whatever she is, but the cultural
non-white, yeah,
non-white female vice president, right? Which is a huge thing.
That's true.
But like, it wasn't like she was a senator from fucking Montana. Okay. Yeah, I had to pick one of your states. I looked around and I was like, which one? Right? It wasn't like it was that had to run a campaign. It was literally the vice president. And I think people just looked and said, "You were the vice president for 4 years. What did you do?"
Well, that's the problem, right? She was vice president, but you never heard a peep from her. It's like she disappeared the minute she became vice president.
That's because she was using the government funds to go take vacations down in like the Bahamas and stuff.
Well, I mean, would you not if you had the chance?
I mean,
hey, man.
I'm just saying the facts. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it.
You know, another interesting fact. Donald Trump is supposedly the best golfer out of all the presidents.
What?
Yep. He's the best. I'm pretty sure he's the best golfer, at least during his presidency. He has the lowest handicap.
Have you seen the way he walks? I just don't see his arms swinging like that.
Wait till you look up. Wait till you look up a video of how he swings, and you're like, how the fuck is he have the lowest handicap?
Did you see his granddaughter? Did you see his granddaughter challenge him to a match?
What?
No.
Yeah, the one that's the up and coming golf star. She challenged him to a match. Wanted to take him on the course.
That's awesome.
She might win too. I don't know. She's pretty.
I don't know. But he's got Elon on his side now. He's gonna have a whole AI fucking course, and it's gonna.
He'll have some calculations of like, all right, this is the angle.
Yeah. Got a little tracker ball.
You put some fucking aviator shades on fucking Trump, man. He could pass as John Daly any day. I mean, give him a PBR.
But you know what? I think
the whole time.
I've learned during my time in the military is like the only thing I care about is like who's gonna send me somewhere that I shouldn't be. And I feel like in the last couple years, a lot of people are going places that they shouldn't be. A lot of people, to a lot of places where we're like, what are we doing here? You know, and once you start tapping into like that the people that protect you, sending them to do dumb stuff just because we have to, start losing that, because we generally don't care. We have to support the commander-in-chief no matter what. We're here, we're happy, we're getting paid, but
are you sure we were over there somewhere we weren't supposed to be? Remember, none of us are in a combat zone or in a war zone. I say as I recorded myself in Iraq, hey, where are we at?
But that's the thing. People would rather be fighting a war. No one cared when we were doing combat deployments and doing things.
Yeah,
It's the other missions.
They compare it to when we pulled out of Afghanistan. They claimed that was the last thing.
The thing that bothers me about it is, right, hear me out. National Guard is supposed to be for the state, for anything that the state needs. But like without declaring war, like literally Congress hasn't officially declared war since World War II.
Yeah.
And so why are we sending National Guard overseas over and over and over again? Like, leave the fucking National Guard in the States. That's where they belong. If you have to bolster the regular army, or whatever, Air Force, fucking bolster the regulars so that you can deploy them wherever the fuck you want to. Like,
I mean, that's like literally the whole point of the reserves is like if you need the extra hands, you pull from the reserves because they're still federal.
yeah.
The Guard is your lonesome ones where, yeah, they do both technically, as is the oath that I had to swear in when I signed up for the Guard. I answered both. But at the end of the day, hurricane or natural disaster happens, you're coming to the Guard.
True. Absolutely.
It's remarkable how many Guard units deploy too.
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
I was deployed with the Guard unit on this last deployment in Iraq. Like, we had an infantry unit with us protecting us.
I wish we could see some like unclassified numbers of like service
who's all there.
service members deployed at any point in time, because I think we would be shocked. I think
100%.
I think we would just be dumbfounded. Like, we have, if you take the number of, because you got to compare it to combat deployable. Who's actually
deployed? Where is the question, though, right, Burr? Because you got like,
yeah.
Are you talking about deployed like overseas to a forward operating base? You talking about being deployed in a combat zone? You talking about being deployed in super secret places where nobody can talk about?
Let's call it combat deployment to include the secret places.
Well, that's where they get it, because there's people on training rotations,
but they're not.
and you're talking thousands, at a time.
I actually met someone.
Go ahead, man.
I actually met someone when I was getting ready to go into country. And I asked, he was like, we were talking and they're like, hey, so where are you going? And I told him where I was going. And then I asked him the same question and he told me, insert place here. And I was like, what are you doing over there? And then, like, obviously you can't talk about it, but then I put 2 and 2 together because I realized what kind of unit he's in. And I was like, okay, this makes sense. You're not officially there. Got it.
Yeah. When we were deployed, we were.
And then
always
he pulled his cloak open.
Oh my god!
As a visual.
I put the guy's. I still remember the guy's face. So you did that, and I put his face to it. That became real for me.
Just watched the little helicopter.
I guess I have a different perspective from you guys because, being Navy subs, it's like our deployments are a whole different breed of animal. When you're deployed, you're deployed. Like, you're basically on a combat mission the entire time you're out there. You may not be in a combat zone. You may not be in a hazardous duty zone. You may not be deployed, 6 months. You can be deployed for a few weeks, but every deployment is considered a combat deployment regardless.
Well, the thing
at any point you can have to do something to where, it's life or death at that point.
Well, so like with the term deployment, like for me, it's used so like loosely these days because like I've got 2 combat deployments now and I've got, call it a rotational deployment because I did a month in Africa but it was training really. But because it was over there, it was considered a deployment. And then when you go to like JRTC or anything like that, they call that a deployment too.
It is a fucking deployment, and I've been here for 3 years.
Don't start with that. Shut up.
Cody's deployed every day.
Viva La Genovia. Down with the red, white, and blue.
Like when I out process, when I cleared my previous units, and you got to go to S1 and get your whole thing of like your deployment list and all of that stuff that you've done. JRTC and all that stuff is on there for me. And I was like, this isn't a deployment. I was there for like a month just.
But you know what? If you add up all the training rotations and CTCs that I've done, I probably have close to 48 months.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like I've been in 11 years, and I'm sure at least 50% of my 11 years is me away from home because of everything being considered a deployment.
And I think that's the main point is like every time you got to spend time. I mean, that's 48 months of just training. I have just shy of 3 years combat deployments. You know, like you're talking 5 years of a 15-year career just for training and combat deployments. It's a third of my time I'm away from home family, not to include field time or any of that shit.
Exactly.
That you're just disconnected. And
yeah, but you're talking home family from like the continental U.S., right? You're not talking like if you're stationed somewhere else with your family.
Nope. That's not including the 3 years I spent in Germany. That was right. I'll take that one. That's fine.
So was that deployed and then deployed from there too? Does that like
I did do that. Yeah.
You know, there are rotations to Germany where you're not stationed there, but the unit that you're in stateside deploys you to Germany or somewhere else in Europe. And it's a deployment.
Yeah.
But I think that's just the thing, man. It's like we just gotta really focus on where we need our troops, because it just shows in the degradation of you know what we're doing. I mean, take any job that you're doing. If you run them too hard, and they just keep going, and they're always going places, eventually they're not going to be good. So I hope we end some things.
You're just going to burn them out.
Yeah.
Well, we're spread way too thin in the globe right now anyway. I mean, if you look at where we were in the 90s compared to where we are now, we are spread way too thin and not enough manpower to cover it all.
Oh, yeah. And that's not even just Army. Like, that's just military in general.
That's the entire forces. Everything.
If you can name a country we're not in. And I think they did the other day. They're like, wait, we haven't fucked with Greenland at all.
You know, I don't think I've
might as well invade.
like there's like this is
Donald Trump Jr. was forward deployed.
This is how like I explained it to my wife with like all of these deployments, like at least deployments these days. Like a lot of these things that we go on now, like I told her I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm safer over here than being back stateside. Like the U.S. should be a deployment at this time.
I've felt that way sometimes too.
I think Cody. I think you and I were deployed when the whole BLM, January 6th, COVID, all that hit. Yeah, and we were in a combat deployment, and honestly, it was safer there than being back home. Like,
hell yeah, man, we didn't have to wear masks until like probably a month before we went home in like December or some shit.
It was funny. All of the stuff that was going on last year, like between the months of like August and October, I was deployed and I had to deal with all that. Everything that you saw in the news, I had to deal with over there. But then I was seeing stuff happening back stateside or that my wife was telling me about. And I was like, I'm safer over here than being back stateside right now.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My wife was like, all right, hey, I got to go get strapped. I got to go to Walmart to get some fucking toilet paper. Oh my God. Okay, good luck.
I mean, at least you got good plumbing back home.
It's still like that in a lot of places, though. That's the problem.
It's something that
some of them places never recovered.
No.
Allison and I were talking about the past couple of days, just like, you know, living that expat life and finding a country.
Greenland.
that time
Greenwood.
period made me very appreciative of like toilet paper in general, because like that happened. I had just came back from deployment, my first combat deployment. And then like literally I was back home for a month on leave, and then COVID happened, the whole shutdown and everything. Like I got back just in time, but all of the shortages of like toilet paper and everything. And I just had to deal with a place where I'm gonna get nasty, but like you couldn't flush the toilet paper if you get what I mean. There's a trash can in the bathroom with you. So I had to, it gave me a new appreciation for just things in general in life that like we all take for granted being back here stateside. So like when there was a shortage of toilet paper, yeah, it sucked and it was inconvenient, but I was like, you know what? I've been in worse.
Yeah.
Just wash my ass.
Just jump in the shower. That's what. When I was deployed, they had the little hose there with the toilet.
No paper needed.
Well, they had it there because you couldn't flush it.
Wherever we invade next, it better be a good climate, have bidets. Right. At
What's
least
the Wi-Fi password?
Wi-Fi password
everywhere.
yeah.
You don't even need that satellite internet.
Can we invade Estonia or something? Estonia has like the fastest internet in the world. Okay.
Or we should just go with the Air Force. That's what it is. That's because they have all those things. Wherever they go.
Just gonna hang out with them.
Yeah.
or SOCOM. Don't matter where you're at. SOCOM, you got internet.
Yeah.
Probably will. Yeah. I saw a thing on the internet the other day about recruiting numbers and all this jazz.
So I went on the internet and I found this.
And it was kind of a jab at the Army and the Marine Corps. It had said something on the basis of like everyone's in this recruiting crisis, yet all the people here in the Air Force, right, we're pushing people away. And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, you know what? It does make sense, right? Because you have an entire generation of warfighters of the last 20 years that have kids that are old enough to join now. And what have we been telling them the whole time? Don't join the Army. Don't join
the Air Force.
Go the Air Force. Go the Air Force. That's what we've been saying the whole fucking time.
I mean,
I tried to get my kid to do it.
Yeah, man. Like
my dad did.
Like
my dad did a similar thing of that with me, but it wasn't joining the Air Force. I mean, he also said like I could do that, but he's an Army guy, so he wanted me to join the Army. But dumb little rebel me back in high school, not thinking I can rule the world, was like, I'm gonna join the Marine Corps. I'm gonna be a badass infantry dude or whatever. My dad's like, you try to do that, I'm gonna take you down a dark alley and beat the shit out of you. And I was like, all right, Army it is.
You missed out on a good time.
Honestly, I've talked to some Marines, and it definitely sounds like it. It's definitely more. I don't gotta worry about crybabies if I was in there. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, not in 2000 when I went through Paris Island.
Yeah, I've been in since 2013, and like the ones coming in now, I call it the Gen Z kids. There's multiple reasons why I'm getting out, and that's part of it.
Oh, God. So I was in the airport. I was going.
Oh, is this about that kid you were talking about?
Yeah, I was going to. My flight got delayed in Dallas, so they told me to go get the hotel room there. And I saw a kid walking with a hot dog, which I know they serve the hot dogs at the USO there. And I was like, "Hey, man, are they about to close?" They're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Crap." So he's like, "I'm trying to find customer service." I was like, "Oh, so am I." So I started walking with him. And I was like, "Oh," he had long hair. And I was like, "Oh, you going to basic?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to Fort Sill." And I'm like, "Oh, cool, man." And he's like, "Yeah, I missed my flight." I was like, "Oh, what happened?" He's like, "How was I supposed to know they were going to change the gate on me?" So in my head, I was like, "Oh, you fucking missed it. You weren't delayed. You like none of that shit." And he's like, "How was I supposed to know I was supposed to, find out what gate it was and blah, blah, blah." And the whole time I'm like, "Yeah, dude, just tell your drill sergeant, man. You're going to be totally fine. You're going to be all right." And dude,
he probably will be all right because drills don't do anything anymore.
Part of me so bad wanted to call the I don't know. It was 30th AG when there's whatever some AG or whatever where he's
I think
at.
it's still 30th.
Some reception center that would take him in, and I'd be like, "Hey, let me talk to a drill sergeant." They'd be like, "Just fuck this guy up. Just do it." Tell him this whole fluff story. Hey, this is Chief so and so.
Look,
yeah,
I've seen. I'm here at SIL. I've seen the drills. I've seen them at the PX. I tried to avoid the PX over the weekend because of all of the training kids in there and everything. Sometimes I can't help it. Even when they're messing up in there, the drills joke around with them like, "What are you doing? Come on!" And I was like, "Why are you not fucking them up? Like you're shooting the shit with them. Like they're your friend."
We're a polite professional army nowadays.
You're not even allowed to do the shark attack anymore.
All the intellectuals we want to bring in, all the guys that missed their fucking flight because they didn't know the gate change.
You
guys didn't have the stress chits, did you?
Oh my god!
The what?
The stress chits. You guys didn't have those?
What's a stress chit?
Oh my god!
Are you talking about the stress card?
Yeah, did you have that?
No.
No, did you?
No.
I didn't have it when I went in. I'm old, right? I went in 94, so I'm fucking old.
Hey, don't say that. I was born in 95.
I think honestly though, I got a drill sergeant who's working for me right now. He just left AIT drill sergeant, so he's a signal leader, and he spent some time doing basic training as well. But I think it's come full circle. I think now the drill sergeants need to stress card themselves. Like these little fuckers are. I'm out for sergeant. Like give me a week. Like fucking take me away from these little bastards. Like
I heard an interesting quote today where someone said, "Without fear, there's no control," and yes. I fully believe that drill sergeants are more scared now than the recruits.
Because the recruits have the power now because they just got to cry that you did X, Y, and Z. Your career is done.
Career is done. Something you've worked for a decade is gone.
It started back in like the late 90s. So what happened was, and it wasn't there when I was in. When I went through recruit training and my basic training, everything, none of that existed. But probably like 2-3 years after I was on my boat and, doing deployments and stuff, we started getting these guys coming in talking about these chits. And they're like, we couldn't figure out what they were. Like a lot of old timers like had no idea. I was probably like, a mid timer at that point, had no idea, but they're coming and talking about these chits. So apparently what happened is recruit training started handing out these like stress chits, like stress cards, whatever you want to call them, to the recruits. So if you were getting yelled at to the point where you couldn't handle it, you gave this card to your drill instructor, right, to your RDC, and they had to stop yelling at you and let you go off and like collect yourself. These guys were coming to the fleet trying this shit, handing these things on the boat, going, "Hey, you gotta stop yelling at me." I had one guy this is one of them like, there I was, no shit stories. Handed me a card while I'm freaking ripping him a new ass for, screwing up some kind of valve lineup in the engine room. He's like, "Here, you can't." I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "What the hell is this?" He's like, "Oh, it's a stress card." I'm like, "What the fuck is a stress card?" He's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "It means you can't." I'm like, "Hold on." I'm like, "Let me explain something to you. Recruit training's over. This is the real fucking fleet. Get your ass in gear, get that shit fixed, or you and I are going to be having a fucking conversation in the wardroom afterwards." But it started there, and it carried to the fleet. So you started seeing all these guys coming out to the fleet, not able to handle things because they were like coddled in recruit training.
See,
and then when I went back to training command, we had to start doing it. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't freaking coddle these guys, knowing that they're operating these kind of power plants and they're going to the fleet and they can make life or death decisions for my friends who are still out there, and totally screw up something. And I'm not going to be the one responsible because I let them get away with being stressed in a training situation when they could be 10 times more stressed in a real situation.
But you probably had that mentality, right? At that point where you're like, hey, I need to make sure that the product I'm kicking out to the rest of the fleet is going to be, substantial. Won't put anybody in distress or putting anybody in distress. But I think nowadays a lot of drill sergeants, drill instructors, at least on the Army side of the perspective, man, is those dudes have had the same mentality day one. They just went through drill sergeant school, which is fucking basic training again.
Yeah.
Right. And then they're like, yeah, dude, I'm about to go train me some fucking meat eating fucking killer machines. Yeah, let's do this. And about halfway through their first cycle, they're getting punched in the face with the bureaucracy and the curriculum and all this stuff. And there's only so much that you can put the flea in the jar before you fucking can't jump no higher, and that sucks. It kind of cuts the leg out from every one of those dudes.
Well, you got to figure they started lowering expectations, lowering requirements, lower knowledge, letting anybody and everybody in, regardless of what their backgrounds or anything. Or it's like, oh, you're a body, we'll push you in. You may not be anywhere near qualified. Yep, got to get the numbers. You may not be anywhere near qualified to handle that rifle, but we're going to give it to you.
Yeah, and we're going to train you, but not the way we want to. The way some bureaucrat wants us to train you.
You know how we're hurting for numbers? I'm sure you guys have seen it. They're letting retirees come back for a couple of years.
Yeah.
On a voluntary basis. Retirees, all the old farts that did 20, 30 plus years, they get to come back in for max 2 more years. They don't get to do any kind of promotions. They're stuck at they come back in at the rank that they retired as, but they don't get to promote again. They're staying where they're at. They're coming back as advisors, but they'll actually deploy.
And we're stepping on our own toes now where, Cody said earlier, we want intellectual, people that are smart in their field. But I will say this, junior enlisted getting a 14.5% pay raise this year.
Don't even.
Which, well, I mean, it's a start to start compensating these guys for the,
Where's my compensation? They're about to get paid the same amount as me. And I'm a fucking NCO.
Listen, it's a 14.5% of what they get paid, okay?
It's going to add up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right?
14.5% of $12 isn't a lot.
Let's say, what's an E4 at nowadays for pay scale?
Well, it depends on how many years you're in. It's a lot now.
Well, you hear about 5 is about an average for an E4?
It's every 2 years, so
I'm 6? Pulling it up right now.
Oh, Chris, you don't want to know. You don't want to start.
All right, so an E4.
We were talking about this last night.
E4 at 5 years gets $3,200 a month. Yeah, but you know what, Anthony? You see it over time though, because once you hit your next time marker or rank marker, it goes up.
I'm at 11 years now, so I'm actually making.
You're 40, 42.
Okay. Yeah, but then if you look at an E4 at the same time frame,
but they can't. RCPs, they'll kick them out by then.
Didn't you hear that? God waived is no longer a thing right now because of numbers.
Yeah.
I don't got to worry about getting kicked out at 15 as an E5. I can go all the way.
Chris, man, just put your packet back in, man. You can come join us.
No, thank you. I will say this, since this is going to be on the internet and live, I will say this for the record. The military, most of the military is highly underpaid for what they do. Highly underpaid. Firefighters, police officers, EMS, military, nurses, there's a lot of professions, especially the military, that are well underpaid for the job that they're expected to do every day.
Yeah. You preface that
veteran, I thank every one of you guys and all the ones that are out there.
Here's the thing, though. You preface that by saying, because this is going to be on the internet. Yeah. So how about you tell us how you really feel, Chris? Okay?
How do I really feel?
Tell us how you really feel. That's what we want to know.
I think the warrant should get paid less.
What the fuck?
Hey, come show up for work and maybe we'll pay you.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hey, that's the only way to that's the only way to increase your hourly rate.
Listen,
Just
that's
show up like-
that's legit from the heart. As a military Navy veteran myself, you know, I've seen what the crap looks like. I've been in the crap myself on my ship, my boat. You know, I've seen some of the other side, some of the other services when I got deployed. You know, we did interactions with them and some of the places I pulled into and the ports I've been to and some of the bases I've been at. You know, I have friends and relatives of every branch of service. Nobody deserves a pay raise more than the military does. You know, except for on the military side, it's military. Civilian side, fire, EMS, nurses, you know, those guys.
I'd
they
give
all
it,
need it as
honestly,
well.
you know who I'll give it to? Teachers, man.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
I couldn't do that job.
Not a fucking chance.
I'd rather go fucking fight fires and patch up bodies than have to deal with 20 snot-nosed kids.
I mean, I feel the same way with that, but I still think they should take some more money.
Here we go. 2 points. You ready, Chris? You know what? I appreciate what you said, and that probably plays into a different perspective of what I thought about on the enlisted side of the pay raise, right? Okay. If fucking specialist numbnuts, right, does not want to take the $6 a month pay raise to fucking take on all the responsibility of an NCO, cool. Get out, man. All right.
Yeah.
It's not about the pay anymore. It's about what you're putting yourself into the fucking service, right? And the leadership role you take upon you. So maybe that might be a good move. You know, we're not going to pay you much more, right? It's because we want you to fucking be here, and wanting to be here is part of the best organizations that everyone wants to be a part of course.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's one thing. But
well, you and I talked that night for like a good hour and a half, just about like service and family and stuff like that. Remember?
Yeah, absolutely. But
I got out because I felt that my daughter was more of a priority than me staying in at that time.
Yeah.
You stayed in because your family supported your decision to stay in.
Right. Absolutely, man. And fucking dude, it's all about sacrifice. That's what it is. Yeah. So, I mean, you know what? If ever you're trying to thank a veteran, it's not to thank you for your sacrifice, not your sacrifice your life or anything like that. No, it's not that. It's thank you for not being able to call in fucking sick, right? It's thank you for the bullshit you deal with. It's thank you for the essence of fucking being here because you need to or you feel wanting to. But yeah. I want to get back to my second point. Berto said, hey, I think teachers should be paid more. All right, Chris, you said hell no. Okay, well, guess what, boys? All right, the biggest problem, the biggest conflict I have with my career right now, my frustrations in life is I am so fucking tired of raising other people's children. Right? That's my thing. As a leader in the Army, I'm so tired of raising other people's children. That's what I do. I'm a grown babysitter, right? Grown as fucking man-child babysitter thing. So, okay, if the culture of America has come to this, you know, the necessity of being dual income household and all that jazz, right? Okay, mom and dad aren't going to be around so much. The teachers are fucking raising kids, man. They are, right? And teachers take it hard too because when a teacher sometimes has to be a parent or make parent decisions for their students, right? Some asshole parents fucking down their throat about that shit, right? Well, I'm over here like, well, you could have raised your kid at the fucking before they went to school type thing, right? So, yeah, shit. If we could fucking quadruple teachers' salaries so that they feel more comfortable to take on the bullshit of raising our fucking youth, maybe, just maybe, all right, the 1% that actually makes it into the fucking Department of Defense, maybe I have slightly less raising myself to do on the tail end of a fucking 18, 19, 25, 28-year-old fucking man-child. So,
maybe you'll be able to do like what you should do based on the old school days where you tell them to do something and they just do it because they know it's what needs to get done.
Or we could just smack them with the stress card.
Smack them.
Now, I want to try and I want to try and put a bow on this, and we can resume the conversation for the Patreon members in the after chat. But I got to say, I agree and I disagree, but I think at the end of the day, nothing will ever improve until we increase the standards, at least to back to what they used to be. You know, because while I don't know, I guess having standards is racist in today's society, I think that it's been a big detriment to society, reducing the standards over and over and over again. So we need higher standards of education. We need higher standards for our military. And then, yes, let's compensate them accordingly.
Higher standards for parenting.
Yes, and parenting. Don't forget to catch our parenting episode that went out 4 weeks ago, and we're gonna have a part 2 to that.
Absolutely.
But all right, so let's final parting advice, final parting words for the listeners. We'll start with Tony. What do you got, Anthony?
Thanks for hosting. This is my first time on here, and this was a lot of fun. I will say, even with the disagreements and how we feel about these things, I will say definitely enjoyed my time in the military. Definitely helped me out in the long run and made me a better person than what I was being a little shit in high school. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
I appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back. Chris, what do you got?
Yeah, same thing, man. You know, finally got a chance to make it onto your stream. Glad to be here. I guess my final thought would be parents, raise your kids right. Teachers, stop interjecting yourself where you don't belong and work with the parents. And for the veterans, thank you for all you guys do. Without you, most of us wouldn't be here to be able to do this with Paul. Quite frankly.
Right on. Berto, you're muted.
Hello? Hey, there we go. Sorry, I was farting a lot over here, so I don't want you guys to hear it. And they're shitting my pants. They ate like a pound of ground beef last night. No, I'll say this. The one thing that's awesome about getting here with people is that we can disagree about things and we can communicate about it. And that's huge when we think about Inauguration Day coming up, how the whole country is split on decisions, on different feelings and thoughts that we have towards things in the world. So don't go crazy. Don't make a January 20th if you're out there. You know, like let's just talk about whatever differences we have and come to conclusions together through constructive communication. So I'm glad we get to do this every time. Paul, I guess you've already found your seat in the White House, so I'm really happy for you. I didn't know the podcast was taking you in that direction. So like good on you, man. Good on you.
All right. Cody, what do you got?
Look, folks, welcome to 2025. All right. I probably started out with a little bit of a shit show. All right. But if those are the embers that are going to start the fire for the rest of the year, I say let it burn, but burn with the integrity of knowing that we probably will come out like a phoenix. So let's go with it. But yeah, I'm anticipating a peaceful transfer of power. I think that's what the politicians call it. And you know, thanks for the pay raise, Uncle Sam. I appreciate you too. And man, let's make it weird.
Yeah, it's not weird enough already.
No, more weird, extra weird. Keep going. Just keep.
It's always weird.
Yeah, make it to the weird part of YouTube. and then you found yourself.
Well, I got to say, like I always do, stick with it. We're all in this together. Whether you're struggling and you feel alone, reach out. Don't feel like you can't reach out. We've all been there. And despite, generation gaps and deployment gaps and ages and generations, it doesn't matter. We all have very similar shared experiences. And so don't hold it in. Reach out and talk to somebody. Now, I also got to say, for those of you that are on Patreon, thank you, because you guys are going to get the after chat where we get to discuss all of the things that I had on my list here, like the New Year's Eve, terrorist attacks and Trump's press conference. We're gonna get into the weeds here for Patreon. So if you're not a Patreon member, I don't know what you're waiting for. That's where you get the uncut version of these podcasts. You get the cut version early, and you get the after chat.
I can't wait. The fucking last one that we did. Oh my god. I don't have to worry about that cancel culture bullshit.
Oh my god.
You're canceled.
No,
Look, man.
there's no canceling us.
You don't got to worry about it because it already happened.
It's the Weekend Warriors, all right? Look, like, subscribe, thumbs up, all the other things.
Where do we point?
Make the bells.
It's like it's all over.
Let's do it.
That way.
Thumbs up, man.